Well, I guess I do have a question that leads into the rest of the games that happened between Saturday and Sunday. The Bills lost, and Stephon Diggs and the rest of the Bills teammates seemed to not be taking this one so well. There were reports here from Bleacher Report put out a picture and a tweet from Joe Buscaglia, Bills wide receiver Stephon Diggs darted out of the locker room with all of his stuff before some of the Bills coaches were even down the tunnel area. Practice squad running back Duke Johnson stopped Diggs before he left the stadium and brought him back to the locker room. He would then left a few minutes later. There were other reports that Stephon Diggs did stick around for head coach Sean McDermott's post game speech. But there were other remarks made about why does this happen all the time, and Isaiah McKenzie also questioned the same things. What you got, Sean?
Did you see his tweets today?
I did not see Stephon Diggs' tweets today.
Stephon Diggs tweets today. 3 tweets. I'll read them in order from his release.
Did you retweet his 3 tweets?
No, I favorited him. Want me to be okay with losing? Nah. Want me to be okay with our level of play when it's not up to the standard? Nah. It's easy to criticize my reaction more than the result.
And I don't think the reaction from him is like, I don't think that should be criticized. I don't think the reaction is what we should be looking at for the sake of like bad sportsmanship or a bad teammate or whatever. That's clearly not the case. The locker room does love him. They've loved him at 2 different places in Minnesota.
Him and Josh Allen have this little gay little bromance that people love talking about. Okay, like they're friends. That's the only thing that makes me think he's going to stay in Buffalo.
He doesn't have an option but to stay in Buffalo. He has a large amount of money.
Finagle a trade.
Well, that's where I was headed, because he is owed a very large sum of money through the age of 32. I think his dead cap, excuse me, if they were to cut him, is somewhere around in the $50 million range. He is owed anywhere between 21 and $27 million per year over the next 5 years, 4 or 5 years. If you're Kansas City, knowing you need a number 1 wide receiver and you have the 4th most cap space in the league at $118 million, do you make a trade for a number 1 wide receiver, maybe keep a guy like Juju around as the 3-4, or excuse me, the 2-3 with Kadarius Toney, or allow him to walk and keep Kadarius Toney as your second fiddle to Stephon Diggs, who doesn't really have any health issues, and you still have Travis Kelce?
Look,
it's not, man.
It's not going to happen. This. Let me just preface all of this: is the Chiefs are not going to get Stephon Diggs in this offseason.
You should make a call, no?
We should try everything we can to, because if he wants to win, he knows where he needs to go in the AFC. But it's never. I don't care how much Brett Veach has changed the culture of this front office. It's not in our DNA to make those kind of moves. We're not a wide receiver team, and I don't think we ever will be, man.
I don't disagree. But also we
there would have to be some sort of like contract restructuring in there too, to have guys
for sure
to owe as much money as you owe Pat Mahomes, to owe as much money as you owe.
It'd go into like they form it into signing bonuses and things like that. But one thing that I've learned over the last few years of having Brett Veach and Andy Reid as the 2 main guys, never doubt or question what Brett Veach might do. Like, this guy's going out here every single year, making deals left and right, making trades for picks and whatnot. Like, if they believe that this person, whoever it is going to make a change in the area that it's needed, like, a deal is going to get made. I would much rather take Stephon Diggs than I would D-Hop.
The best thing that I love that Veach has been doing is been forcing all of Spag's guys that he loves, that are not athletic and rough to play, terrible stats, cutting them bringing in new young talent, forcing Spags to use those players.
Well, the only thing about that is that he hasn't brought in the biggest need on that defense, and it's a speed rusher.
That's going to be this offseason.
On the edge. But and real quick, back it up 2 steps here. Why would you rather have Stephon Diggs versus D
Hop? D Hop's a little bit older. D Hop has
boy.
had he is steroid boy. He has had health issues over the last couple of seasons, and being able to not be there, whether it's suspension or through health issues. Stephon Diggs has been known to be constantly healthy, not miss games, not be a locker room problem anywhere he goes. Not saying that D Hop is, but not being available is a locker room problem. There's just, I think, given the combination of a lot of things, I would much rather take Stephon Diggs in this part of their career. If you want to make D Hop like both in their prime, yeah, we're all going to take D Hop. But
my reasons for D Hop would be more. I think you could get like a discount on him.
Oh, massively.
Like, you're gonna have to acquire either through trade, and I think, D Hop, they already know he's gone. Like, you can probably give up less to get D Hop, considering the year that Stephon Diggs just had, and because of a lot of the things that you were saying. But I think, hey, Chiefs medical staff, baby D Hop during the regular season and unleash him in the playoffs.
I think there's probably some other moves that I would try to make before. Again, D Hop not a bad option, but just strictly for health purposes. I think there'd be some other moves that I would try to make. But you're not wrong in the fact that the cost would be far less. The bit like, I don't know what to think about the Bills right now, man. This is like 3-4 years. Josh Allen clearly in regression, can't do anything without Brian Dabble. Do they just implode a portion of the team?
No one loses in the playoffs like the Buffalo Bills.
Bums, dude. Like, Josh Allen legitimately looked like a above average QB this year. Like, you can tell that he has the attributes and the skills and the abilities to like be really good, but when you put it all together with what's in between the ears and whatnot, like, it just like, it's not clicking. It's not there.
He wants to
22
play
total
hero
turnovers.
ball way too much.
Well, I mean, end result for their season is extremely disappointing, but he put up 42-35 and only had 14 interceptions.
22 total turnovers. With the, like, he's a fumble machine.
Big games like this,
I think
he
his
doesn't look for
teammates
Stephon.
well, yeah, Diggs did get mad at him after the game, but I think for the most part, like, they ride with him. Like,
they do, but he gets into the course of always trying to play hero ball, where he's going to be running, literally mashing on the buttons on the controller like he would in Madden. That's what type of ball he loves to play, and that always ends up in disaster.
Mashing all the buttons on the controller. Spin, hurdle, stiff arm.
Fumble.
Like that? Fumble. What's the button for fumbling on Madden?
RT. Or no, it's RB. Like a
RB?
pitch. Yeah. Should they implode a portion of this team? It seems like, obviously it's immediate reactions coming from the players, but should they?
What do you mean by that?
You
said it 3 times now.
Cutting out some of the fat, like getting some of these guys out of there. You've done it 3 years in a row with the same guys. And yeah, your offensive coordinator does change, so that changes up a little bit, but you didn't do any better without him. And you didn't do
which guys? Are you asking if they need to ship Josh Allen out of there?
No, definitely not Josh Allen, and you can't, especially with a contract that you paid him. But maybe that offense needs reworked. Maybe we need to start going with more of a running game from running backs than you do from your quarterback. Maybe you need to get some better offensive linemen in there. Maybe you do need to get your wide receivers a little bit more help instead of just Stephon Diggs. That defense, for all intents and purposes, is old. Von Miller, you paid him a shit ton of money just to sit out at the end of the season because he can't stay healthy. Shocker. Like I think there
They do
needs to
have
Micah
be
one
Hyde was
better
out
maybe
linebacker.
not
too,
an
so
Yeah,
implosion.
they had a really bad injury season.
Poyer and Micah Hyde are not spry chickens. They are older guys. If you continue to give these guys the money that they're asking for at the age that they're asking for, you're just asking for trouble in the prime of Josh Allen's career. If he can even stay like this, at this point, he's turning into Dak,
well, they built their team to beat the Chiefs.
and they can't do it.
That's it. They didn't build their team to win the Super Bowl. It's just to beat the Chiefs.
If you can beat the Chiefs, it would be to win the Super Bowl.
On the
But you
regular
can't beat
season.
the Chiefs. But you can't beat the Chiefs. Not when it matters. Yeah, okay. Week six Super Bowl victories. Much like the Raiders and everybody else who gets a certain win on us over a span of like a decade. Congratulations. Now you got to change it up again.
I think a locker room like that, being so close, like they're not gonna. I think you do more harm than good if you just take a fucking hammer to it and split them all up. I really do think the Bills have a little bit more camaraderie than a lot of teams out there. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a large degree of that on every team in the NFL, but they've got like a weird homoerotic bromance between all their players over there.
I can tell you one thing for certain. Regardless of any changes being made, you got to reel in Josh Allen. Guy has had a regressive year, did not look good, can't keep turning the ball over and trying to play hero ball, trying to take the deep shot all the time or put it all on your own shoulders. That is not a successful way to win the important games.
I'm fine if he keeps doing this
Well, I
year
am
after
too as
year.
a Chiefs fan. Like, fuck him. But at the same time, if you're a Bills fan or a part of that organization, you can't continue your team to go the same exact way it has for the last 3 years.
You
But
can.
I mean,